My name is Kai Kristen. Well, I think we're online now, at least. Hi, guys. My name is Kai Kristen. I'm the founder of the Lifestyle Design Convention, and I'm so excited to have this webinar today. It's going to be amazing. As you can see, there are many faces down there that will attend this webinar. We have, most importantly, of course, we have Timothy Marc on board, the inventor of the Freedom Business Blog. He helps guys to fund a life of freedom, fun, and adventure, if I said that correctly. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on board, my friend.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Now, first of all, though, we need to clear something up. I woke up this morning at 6 a.m., which isn't free. I don't feel like 6 a.m. is the freedom time to be waking up. But the weird thing was, so I thought I had this webinar, and then it turns out because of daylight savings here in Australia, I've had to attend an hour later. So I could have had an hour extra sleep, but that's all right because I'm super pumped to chat to you guys, and I love doing these things because, yeah, it's just another chance to connect and talk about the exciting subject of freedom, fun, and adventure, and building a business to fund it. So let's get into it.
It's perfect. Thank you very much for being on board so early then, and your energy is already great, so that's awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, next thing we have on board Aaron. Aaron is a coach as well as, which is quite interesting, he's actually attending the program that Timothy is doing, or Tim is doing at the moment. So we will have not only the perspective of actually Tim himself, but also of a quote-unquote client of his. So I thought, just 25 minutes ago, I thought it would be a great idea to invite him on this webinar, and we did. And the third face you see actually twice is Emmanuel. Emmanuel is going to be the moderator. So very, very important, guys. If you have any questions, just throw them in on the chat on the right side that you see right now, where Janina just wrote, "Hey everyone," and where you can actually ask any question that you have. And yeah, Emmanuel will try to distill them for us, and we will try our best to answer all of them. Yeah, yeah, guys, if we want to start by maybe, Tim, you want to say a few words about yourself, about your journey, that would be absolutely great.
Sure, rad. Ready to jump in. So, first of all, I guess I should talk about the three types of people that normally stumble across our blog, stumble across this idea of building the lifestyle business. I guess the first type of person is normally trapped in what we call the day job of doom. They're working away for someone that's just annoying the hell out of them. They're looking at their coworker over there that they just want to slap, and they just hate being there, doing things that just bore the hell out of them every day. So they're trapped in the day job of doom. That's guy number one, or girl. Mm-hmm. And the second one, the second person, is the person that's kind of trapped in their business. Okay, so they're you know, they're working flat out, they're building this business, but you know, they might have a staff of, you know, 10 or 15 people, but they're kind of trapped inside it in that they get no time to spend with friends and family. And the third type of person is the person that's just lost all passion and excitement for life because, you know, they've got a lack of freedom somewhere, whether it's money freedom or time freedom or something like that. So they're just, you know, they're just losing all passion. You know, they might have been in their job for 26 years. They don't know any different. And yeah, that's pretty much the three types of people that stumble upon what we do. And the big problem, I guess, and this is what really drove me when I was, this is about 11 years ago now, I was sitting in an accounting firm job. The big problem is, I guess, the soul crippling lack of freedom. And I guess that it has borne it, and the beauty about the technology and the internet and the way things work now is that gave birth to like the freedom and the lifestyle design movement. And I guess the overall goal and what we see it as at the Freedom Business Blog and what we try and do for our clients and things like that is we try and give them true wealth. And we define true wealth as having freedom of activity, time, and place. So three things: activity, time, and place. So be anywhere, do anything, whenever you want to do. And I always had this thing in my mind, and years ago I made this up. I was like, the test that I had for true wealth was if I could at any stage, like tomorrow, if I decided I wanted to go to Paris and fly to Paris and have crepes for breakfast, and that's a big deal if you're from Australia. So if I wanted to do that, then that should be able to happen. Okay, so I should be able to just wake up and be like, I'm having crepes in Paris. Let's do it. Or if I want to be free to build a business or build a bigger business, or do some great work as well, which is really important. I should be free to pursue that. So whatever it is you want to pursue, activity, time, place, experiences, travel, that's the true wealth. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a rundown of what we're all about.
Dude, amazing. Thank you very much for this introduction. I was like already, this is great. So I would like to have like a little bit of Aaron's take on this. You're a part of, like you can see on the right side on the chat, it's just like SSM representing, SSM representing. So maybe Aaron, you can tell a little bit about like what SSM is and why you decided to be a part of it and what your experience was.
Yeah, of course.
Many
SSM
questions.
represents, yes, okay. So I'm a life coach myself, and I'm also doing dating coaching, and I really love this job, and I run my own business, but as Tim said, I work a lot in the business and not on the business. It's not that I can work from wherever I want. I work with clients, and I have to be here to work with them, and I love the idea of building a freedom business. Like I read 4-Hour Work Week, like probably many people do who stumble on Freedom Business blog, and I love which is what is described there, and I always thought, okay, I want to build a business like that too. And I was following you, Tim, for since a long time, and always loved the stuff from you and the articles on your blog, and I always think, okay, yeah, that's awesome, that's cool stuff. And then I followed the launch of SSM4, and I was like, okay, this time I'm in. I want to learn the stuff you teach there, and then I got in, and I really learned so much, really a lot till now, and started to build beside my coaching business, my own little freedom business, which is really fun, and I learned so much about business, and also so many skills like web design and whatever. Like it's really cool stuff. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for the wrap, man. I didn't know you were joining us, but it's good to actually see you in person, I guess. Our community, it's pretty interesting, with the community as well. I guess what we do is it's not just a training course. It's really about all the people as well. Each year we run as part of the course, you get to join us live at an event somewhere in the world. And we're doing Bulgaria in February next year, a ski trip. Yes. So, we're expecting over 150 people who have built the freedom business, now that they've got the income, to come and join us in Bulgaria and kind of celebrate that thing. And it's funny because, each week we'll log in and someone's quit their day job, or someone's made some new crazy sale that they thought would never be able to hit their bank account. So, it's really fun. So, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's really motivating to see that in the secret Facebook group where every day there's another guy who writes there, okay, another sale and whatever. So that's really awesome. So it really works already for many of the people who joined the program.
And what you might find, Kai, as well, with the people that are going to the conference, and I'm so excited because when you meet up with there's a difference in between, and what I found in my regular daily life, there's a difference between just your standard person who's kind of in the matrix, they're just working away and they're kind of happy and all that sort of stuff, and that's a lot of my friends. They still have day jobs and they're happy with that lifestyle. But then there's the people over on the other side that I described that want a little bit more, and then when you meet those people in real life, like Aaron here and stuff like that, you have an instant connection and an instant vibe. It's crazy, and you're like, oh wow, it's like it's so funny because you're meeting these guys that you might have just connected with on the internet, but it's like instant friendship. It's crazy if you probably experienced that yourself. And the live stuff is so important to make it real, you know, to connect and make it real. So that's, you know, these events are really important.
Yeah, the lifestyle design convention will be something similar, where you also, like, the people, I guess, are really similar who attend this event, because they are all like into self-help or self-development and all this stuff.
Yep.
So it's really awesome. I already met some people who will join this event, and they are really cool people, and just inspiring to talk to them already. So that's amazing.
Cool, guys. I would like to dive a little bit into, like, so we have 71 people attending at this moment, and I'm really excited
Cool.
about this. And I'm sure there's going to be some people who say, like, yeah, you know, like, it would be cool to have like a business where I can fund the life of, where I can basically do whatever I would like to. But
Yep.
it's not possible, right? I hear that
Right.
answer a lot. Like, when I talked about, like, yeah, I'm gonna have this guy on who helps guys to fund those kind of business, they say, yeah. Well, do you think it's possible? And I say, yeah, sure. So what do you tell to those people?
Okay, that's a really, really good question. And I remember it's several years ago now. It's funny, I split up with a girlfriend, and I went on this little, and I was feeling very down, and I didn't know what I was doing with my career at that point. I'd had no idea about business or anything like that. And I went on this like really long walk, and I was due to move out of the apartment, and I'd remembered these guys that I'd met overseas that kind of started their little laptop businesses and just flew around the world and did that. And that was so far outside my reality that, like you say, this business, it was just like, you know, wow, these guys must be amazing and all that sort of stuff. So I was so kind of down. I'd broken up with a girlfriend, didn't know where I wanted to take my career. I certainly didn't want to go back to an accounting job. So I contacted them, and they took me through, I guess, the step-by-step process of this whole building the freedom business thing. And I guess where it all really started was them showing me the power of the internet and being able to connect skills together that can help you to do the work at a very, very cheap rate. So you might have heard of sites such as like Elance and freelancer.com and places like this. Now, what these sites allow you to do is they allow you to outsource work for, I guess, a lot more, an inexpensive rate, because you're outsourcing to countries like India, you're outsourcing to, you know, places like, even places like Bulgaria, and I had a video design guy in Chile, for example. But let me just give you an example of one of the first businesses I built, so I can sort of break it down how easy it really is. And then I might talk a little bit about the whole blueprint or design of how this whole works as well. So basically, what the first stage that you go through is the idea generation phase, and everyone thinks, oh, I need the freedom business idea. I need to know, you know, what's the business idea that's going to really kill it for me. And I guess that the criteria that you define your business with is so important. So for me, it needed to be run by a laptop anywhere in the world. That was the criteria. And I needed to not have any sort of physical product or dealings with physical product. Nowadays, you can actually do physical products really well and have them manufactured and shipped out of China and things like that. I've got a friend who does iPhone cases, actually, and does really well out of those. But I guess for me, one of the first businesses was this video production business. Okay, so video production, it's all based on the computer. Okay, and so what I did was I learned myself how to sort of build little videos. They were pretty bad little videos in PowerPoint, but businesses actually needed these videos to go on their website to talk about their products and services. So as you'll probably know, when you land on a website, generally there's now a video, a sales video, so to speak. So I started this small little sales video production company, and I would write the scripts, and I would record the audio, like me, just in my crazy Australian accent, and then I'd put the video together, and businesses would put them on their website, and I would be able to charge them, you know, around $600 for these videos, and businesses were loving it because people had land, and they actually proved to be higher converting. So then I took it a step further, and as I was saying with the outsourcing thing, I was like, right, I don't want to be sitting here building these videos all day. How can we put people in place to manage all the processes? So what I did was I had two video producers. One was in the Ukraine and one was in Chile. And I had a script writer in the UK who would write the scripts for $25 per script. Then it would go to the audio guys, depending on what the client selected. If they wanted someone from the US or the UK, I'd lined up a bunch of audio people. So it would go through this process of script writing, audio recording, video production, and out to the client without me having to touch it, because I then put someone on the top to manage that whole process. So that was actually a virtual assistant in the Philippines. Now, I guess another little thing, the assistant in the Philippines cost me full-time, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, to have someone full-time there, ready to go, do whatever you like. It was $300 US per month. So it's just the whole system and the whole structure kind of ran itself and fully automated. And as you say, you probably got people out there like, oh, that's crazy, you can't do that. And the weird thing is, at every step of the way, like from me sitting there to build the website to doing my first little video when I built the business, every single step of the way I met this little voice inside my head that's known as the resistance. And this resistance told me, oh, this is going to fail. All businesses fail, or you suck. You know, you're not this type of guy. Go back and get a job. Go back to accounting. All that. That voice is literally there every step of the way, and I still get it. Look, you wake up. I've got things to do. I'm launching a new blog next week, and that resistance is popping up again. And for those of you interested in more about overcoming the resistance and moving forward, because there is always that doubt. And as I say, every step of the way, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're building, there will be that resistance. There's a book called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. I might just type it in the chat, actually, for everyone. The War of Art. Okay. Stephen Pressfield. And this book was really, really good. And as I say, things are stepping up in my world. They just, I guess, especially in business and in life, it always just keeps growing and getting bigger. I've just opened a new office here in Melbourne, and you might say that's not the freedom life, but I kind of chose it. I really want to build this big office where we can, launch our training from and have great people work for us. We've got 9 people on our team now, which is pretty cool. But every step of the way, I felt that resistance. Hiring a new team member, or building a new website, or launching a new business. Yeah, you'll feel that resistance every step of the way. It's absolutely crazy. But that, I guess, the community support and the right steps and processes are probably the big two that'll allow anyone to achieve that lifestyle or dream. And really happy to break that down over in Zurich at the conference.
Perfect. Yeah, I think so too. Like what you just mentioned, this support that you have in a community is so underrated. I was into self-development since I'm 16, and I just I tried it all the time myself, So I was on this journey, and I grew, of course. And but what always was missing was like the community around it. And since I have like friends that are also interested in that area, and for you it's exactly the same. So friends that are building a similar business than you are, or having a similar idea, it's just a catalyst for growth. It's so much easier to grow if you have like-minded people around you, and that's exactly the reason why I wanted to build an event around that topic, where you not only have amazing speakers like Steve Pavlina, like you, but also attendees that are really, really cool people. Because what the problem is with people who want to grow, it's pretty lonely, because all your friends will tell you, well, you know, like you have a great job. Why do you want to? Why do you want to do that strange freedom business? What the hell? Or you already do great in that area of your life. Why do you want to get even bigger, stronger, whatever? It's amazing. They hold you back, kind of. Not all of the people, but some do. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a huge point, man. And what you're touching on here is, you know, I guess the first part of the process, and that's nailing down and really defining what your goals and vision are for the future. And what we find with, you know, people that we're talking, the type of people that, you know, come here, you know, they or come to things like this, is that they see a vision, or they see people around them. They see that there's people that have quit their job or that have built a business, and you know, they're like, well, this guy's no smarter than me. Like, why can't I step out and do something like that, or live that type of lifestyle? Or, you know, it's crazy. And that's the first step, man. Defining the goals and visions and what you want. I'll tell a little story. One of my mentors, when I first started building Freedom Business, he actually takes every year for 2 weeks. He takes 2 weeks off each year, and he does what's called a genie trip, all right? Like a genie in a bottle, right? So he flies to like a paradise island. Like this guy, he's got multiple houses on multiple continents in the world. He's just literally, this is, you know, you don't meet these types of people just on the street. He's ridiculously wealthy, ridiculously, I'd say smart, but you know, he's just the same as, he's just a regular dude. Didn't go to uni, didn't go to college, any of that sort of stuff. Just had the right mentors, and that was, you know, I connected with him well. And so he does this genie trip. He'll fly to a paradise island in Asia. He's got his whole like villa set up with just a pool, and he turns off everything. He turns off his laptop, he turns off his phone, and he has no connection with the outside world for this genie trip. Now the genie component is, he takes like a notepad, right, like this, and he'll sit there, and for 2 weeks he'll pretend he's got his own personal genie with him, and he asks, and the genie's basically saying, what do you want, right? And so then he sits there for, or he's not just sitting all the time, but he goes through the mental process of defining exactly what he wants his life to look like for the next year, all right? Now this is a guy who pretty much has it all, but this is how it kind of started, is he asked himself, you know, what is it do I really want? What do I want to wake up and do each day? What are the sorts of things that excite me? You know, what are the things that really get me, you know, pumped up? Like, you know, like everyone's got activities or things that really give them that vibe of adventure and fun and wonder and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, he's like, he writes that down every year, and he spends 2 weeks. And the funny thing is, he says the first 3 days of a genie trip, he's kind of decompressing from the regular life. Like he finds himself wanting to check Facebook. He finds himself wanting to check email. He's like, oh wow, it's interesting to observe myself and see how far you get sucked into habit and things like that. And when you zoom out and you sort of step back and you say, all right, well, how do I want the pieces of my life to fit together? How do I want this part of my life to look? How do I want this part of my life to look? And designing it in a way that says, you know, and not looking at stuff like your own physical constraints. So if you don't have enough money now, leaving that aside while you're doing your design, you know what I mean? So because you can build the money later. So it's really important that you sort of zoom out, view everything objectively, and say, okay, here's what I want, without going further and saying, oh, here's the plan to get it. Those things need to be done on separate days, right? The goals and the visions should be done on one day. So just be pure, you know, out there. Imagine if, like, be really curious. Imagine if I could do this, right? Imagine if I could outsource my business so that I didn't have to be going to work every day. Imagine if, you know, I could, yeah, whatever it is, like, just design it based on that. Zoom out objectively for one day, because that's using the creative side of the brain. And then on another day, you know, put the plan in place with the right knowledge that, you know, you get from things like, you know, Freedom Business Blog. There's other great books out there. You mentioned 4-Hour Work Week and things like that, conventions and conferences. But the very first step is zooming out, working out what you want the whole show to look like, who you want to be hanging out with, things you want to be doing with your days.
That's absolutely great. I think it's such an important point to remove the word "but" or like have the whole mind thing. So you come from a fresh place of clarity where you just like, first of all, just without limitations, you
Yep.
basically design the life of your dreams, as we call it at the Lifestyle Design Convention. You just go for whatever is in your head without limitations. And
Yep.
when I work with clients, also with myself, man, it's all the time like, but what if, and yeah, but I need to acquire so much knowledge to do that, and I need money to do
Sure.
that, and like to just
That's the
calm those voices
resistance.
down. Yeah, yeah, man.
That voice pops up when you ask the what if, like, what if I could just quit and go and do this? And then you get that resistance voice that comes and says, but, you know, rah, 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 and has all the list of things. That's the guy that you need to just push aside and deal with him later. Keep on the what if, keep on the, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really really helpful if you really break it down in detail, like how your perfect day would look like, as we also did in SM. Do it with my clients, that I really work through like the perfect day, and then you really with the exact time and what you do at that time, and then at that time, and where are you with which type of people are you, and what are you doing exactly, and whatever. And then you find yourself suddenly in some situation where you think, oh, actually that's exactly how my this I dreamt about in my perfect day vision. So, and that's really amazing.
Crazy when you wake up one day. It's crazy when you wake up one day and you think about that past guy that you were like 6 months ago or a year ago, and you go, wow, I'm actually here. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just chase the next thing, or chase the next goal, or chase the next adventure. I've got another story on that before we kind of move on to questions and stuff. The same guy, actually, he was going to buy his own private island. Okay, he was like, that was in his vision. He's like, you know what? If I've made it, I've got my own island, right? So I'm going to go buy my island. He had a girlfriend at the time, and then he sort of said, okay, wait a second. You know, before I go buy this island, I better go, you know, check it out and live it and see if it's what I really want. So what he did is he flew out to this island, and he lived on the island for 2 weeks. Paradise Island, big mansion, really awesome. And he lived on it for 2 weeks, and he said it took me all of 4 days before I realized I did not want to buy and live on an island. This would bore the hell out of me. So a big point on that is that if you can, go and experience those things and that vision that you have. So, you know, go and if what your vision is to have a sports car in the driveway, go and rent a sports car for a day and feel what it's like to actually do that and to have that. Now, a story on that is when I was over in Monaco, I always thought the big thing was to have a Ferrari, right? So I rented a Ferrari for a day in Monaco with a friend and drove it through Nice, and it was awesome. So for the first hour, we're like, this is the best experience of our life, right? We're like, this is awesome. But then by about 4 or 5 hours later, and after my friend, because we're used to driving on the other side of the road, my friend drove it and managed to like crash the front side of it and like scrape the rim. And so we're like, oh, so after having this car for like 4 hours, we're like, I hate this thing. So we ended up hating it, and like we're like, oh, and we were like so careful with it, and so like, oh, I don't know about this, you know. Anyway, so long story short, you've got to go and you've got to like, if you've got a dream, go and live it for at least a day. Like, try it out. Like, try it on like a shirt and go, oh, does this fit? And then get that vibe. You know, for me, it was always the travel. So I feel like I'm in a different, you know, vibe when I travel. It's just opens up a whole new world where you don't have the old environment, the old things hanging over your head or any of that stuff. So it was always the travel that really excited me. But yeah, go and try it on like a shirt, the lifestyle that you want. It'll be a great investment, because otherwise you're going to invest the 6 months to a year building the business so you can have that day. So you may as well just try out the day first. To see if it fits on you, and go from there. Side note though, we didn't have to pay for the Ferrari because it already had a little speck of damage on the rim anyway. So the guy said to us, he's like, oh no, it's okay. It already had a little scratch on it. You guys are fine. So we're like, okay. We backed off and we walked around the corner, and we were literally just jumping with joy that we didn't have to pay for a whole new Ferrari rim. So yeah, good times.
Yeah, that's cool. I think people a lot of times we all overestimate how happy it will make us if we have something like a car or a big house or whatever. And in the end, if we acquire it, it's just a big hassle in the end. It just makes you more stressed because you have to take care of
Yeah.
that as well. Yeah, that's a
And
lot of
it
time.
comes down to whatever makes you happy, you know. Like if the car and
Yeah,
the house and all those things
yeah,
are going to make you
absolutely.
happy, cool, go for it and get it. Like I don't hold it against people to get a sports car or anything like that, or like I've got a Corvette and I've got a Mercedes. Like these things, you know, they're not my be all and end all, but like I enjoy them. It's great, you know. And you know, if that's what you want, go and do it. Or if you want to have a backpack and travel the world, go and do that too. You know what I mean? Like whatever it looks like to you, go and do it. Like whatever makes you happy. As long as it's not hurting anyone else, you should just do whatever makes you happy.
Cool. What do you think, like you talked a little bit about your first time when you did that freedom business, and it sounds like a lot of work, but it seems doable. Why do you think not everybody's doing it?
That's a good question. Basically, it comes down to a couple of things. Number one is that we're still stuck in the old mindset. I know I was hanging out with my dad for the weekend, and me and my dad, it's almost like we've got absolutely nothing to talk about. I'm from a very middle class background. He, you know, just works every day, all that sort of stuff. And you know, I even feel like I'm like, you know, should I just go and get a job? Like this, everyone seems to be doing it. Like the matrix is still very strong, mate. Like no one, you know, we grow up with this kind of social conditioning idea that we should grow up, get a job, go to uni, get a job, all that sort of stuff. We're still plugged into the matrix, so to speak, and that's still how we're brought up, and still what we're fed to believe in the media and things like that. But we're still, but now people are starting to wake up and see a shift in that, you know, the people that are graduating from universities now are struggling to find a job in general. Like there's so many people coming out of university who were expecting to just walk into a great graduate job that are now competing with, you know, thousands of other people, and there's just not as many jobs. There's not as many people on the other side who are building the business and learning the sales skills and doing all that sort of stuff. So that's a big reason, mate. That's the number one reason. And the number two thing is, I guess, you know, this whole lifestyle design stuff, it's very new. Like it's you know, only the last what 5-10 years, or not even, is it sort of surfacing, and it's very new. So the knowledge is very limited out there, and yeah, I mean, people that build, like we've got people in our program that just build the business, build this great freedom thing, and then off they go. You never hear from them again. We don't even hear from them in the community. They're off on a beach in Thailand somewhere, or you know, whatever. They're just enjoying life and doing what they want to do. So you don't really hear about it as much too. So they're probably the two reasons. Number one, our social conditioning, and number two, the knowledge is young, and yeah, it's exciting though, because we're all in amongst it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I see the same thing. Like this thing is so new. Like people ask me, "What kind of convention are you doing? What is this about?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's especially in Europe and like Switzerland. It's
Sure.
like what?
Yeah,
So,
everyone has their way of doing things, you know, like even societies, as you say, like Switzerland, probably fairly conservative. You know, you from birth, you grow up and you've got the plan laid out for you. Go to uni, get a job, respectable, etc., etc. Yeah, it just wasn't for me, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And
think
failing is
also,
not an option.
yeah,
Like you can see that, like in like you can, whatever you do, you have to take the safe route. So like
Yeah.
whenever you fail, people look at you like, or you're actually just scared of that. Actually, people will look at you, which is mostly not the case. But still,
That's
like,
exactly right.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Then you
So,
have to be like willing to confront the resistance, which is a huge part of all this, and it's way easier to just say, okay, I get a job and like complain about my boss and whatever, and just do the the normal life, and yeah, because it's a hustle to fight against the resistance, to do something else what others maybe look down to or talk down, and then you have to fight through. And but at the end,
Absolutely.
that give you the freedom to do whatever you want. So, yeah.
And the funny thing is, you know, like it's when people, like, you sit there and you worry, like, oh, what if I fail? What are people going to think? Or, you know, what if I quit my job? Like, it's so scary. What are people going to say about me? The thing is, 99% of people aren't thinking about you. No one cares. Go and build your business. Like, everyone's thinking about their own shit. People are thinking about their own, like, everyone's worried about what will Kai think of me if I do something. You know, everyone's thinking about what everyone else is thinking, and not just, you know, on their own thing. And again, that comes down to the goals and vision and dream and staying on your own path. And you know, when you're on that path as well, you know, it naturally attracts the right people to that path too, and people come across the path when you're kind of on it. Like, you know, I wouldn't be chatting to you, Kai, and we wouldn't have met if it wasn't for us kind of walking that path that, you know, we wanted to go down, and it's all about following that inner vision and dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we quickly ask whether Emmanuel has some questions from the audience, maybe? That would be interesting to hear, because I've seen some question marks popping up. I could answer some of those right live on the chat, but maybe Emmanuel has some for us.
Yeah, I think there's one particular question I find quite interesting, and that's sort of regarding the resistance that you spoke about earlier, and it basically asks sort of what's the best daily practices to actually beat that inner voice of resistance, I think.
Daily practices. Okay, very good. One of the things, I guess, first of all, you know, is recognizing it. The biggest one is recognizing it. So instead of like, and I guess we can get into meditation and practices like that, which have worked for me in the past. Unfortunately, now I've kind of fallen off, and I just get up and go into work mode straight away. But yeah, the big key is recognizing it. So when you hear it, like I say, the voice that says stuff like, oh, what will this person think of me? What will this person think of me? Or whatever it is, it's like going, oh, there's that old resistance thing that they talk about. And, you know, acknowledging it and going ahead and doing it anyway. That's one thing that helps beat the resistance. The other thing that beats the resistance as well is really knowing and having clear definition of what you want to achieve. That is so important. Having the goal, having the exact measurable goal in front of you on what you want to achieve, and maybe that's like we call it a target freedom income number. So that number is generally what it would cost for you to quit your job. So if it's $1,000 a week, then your target freedom income number is $4,000 a month. So once we've got that figure, we can get a very clear plan in place to generate an idea, build a business, and market that business and automate it so you can hit that target freedom income number. So being very clear about what it is that you want to achieve is really important. And the other thing I'll say about that in defeating the resistance, when you are clear about your objective, when you have your goal, when you know what it is that you want to achieve, eliminating all distractions and things that pull you away from that focus is so crucial to eliminating the resistance, because we only have a limited cup of willpower each day. I've studied this extensively in that, you know, every single day we sort of, we only have a limited amount of willpower in terms of what we can invest our focused energy time into. It's very limited. So, you know, if you've ever tried to start a new gym program, start a new business, and eat healthier all in one day, you know that everything collapses, right? Because we've only got this limited amount of willpower. So what you need to do is, once you're very clear about what your objective is, for example, build a business, then all the other stuff you kind of need to have on habit or automation, or not need to think about, so you can really knuckle down and close in and focus on that one goal. Elimination is such a under-discussed topic. That's eliminating the people, the events, and the things in your life that are going to distract you from that number one core goal that you have for the next whatever period it is. So defining what it is that you want, eliminating all the distractions, all the bullshit, all the things that will pull you away from that thing. And number one, recognizing when you're kidding yourself, when the resistance coming up, and you know, get down to your tasks and get down to your objective. So I guess there's a mental aspect, which is like the meditation, recognizing aspect. Then there's a practical aspect, having the right objective and having the right plan. So really important.
Amazing stuff, man. I just wanted to say to the people out there, if you think like, oh, I need to remember all this, no problem. You can like use the exact same link of this webinar and you will have a full replay of the thing. So don't worry, you can watch it again and again and again. No problem. Yeah, maybe Emmanuel, you have another question for us?
Yeah, there is one sort of an economy or sort of related to degrees. One person asks, what do you think about IT and economic degrees? But I think probably could broaden that as well to what do you think generally about degrees, universities, and so on.
Okay, for me, I always, degrees and any form of learning in general. So I studied accounting, and I studied a double degree in IT and accounting, or started to, all right, and started to work in the accounting firm. And for me, it was really difficult because I always had to attach that learning to, you know, a purpose. Okay, so I cannot sit down and work unless I know what this work is going to lead towards. And the big problem that I find with a lot of people is that they don't see how what they're learning connects with how they're going to earn an income. Because let's be honest, when I was sitting at uni, I was like, how am I going to get rich? All right, if I'm an accountant, I think I'll earn this amount of money. Cool. All right, that's why I'm here to learn, because I want to get a job and I want to get money. Right, that was my whole thing. So it depends on the purpose behind why you're getting the degree. So that was my purpose on getting the degree. If you have a pure passion for a particular subject, be it an economic degree or whatever it is, if you've got a passion for that subject, by all means, dive in there. If that's what makes you happy to learn that stuff, go in and learn it. But you know the purpose of it, right? It makes you happy. You enjoy it. But if you're going to a degree, if you're stepping to a degree to like slog your way through life for 4 or 5 or 6 years, just so you can earn good money at the end of it, then maybe it's time to explore other options and other ways. Because there's certainly a lot easier ways than going to university just to earn money. And I think I heard a statistic that most of the richest people in the world, and I'm being very general here, you can, and don't quote me, but someone was saying that the most rich people in the world, and I even had a look actually in there's a business review magazine here in Australia, the richest people in the world don't have uni degrees, and it's very funny that. They probably spent those 4 years or 5 years practically out there in the real world, testing, selling, learning skill sets like master salesmanship. So important, writing good sales copy, or being able to sell something to someone, or these web design skills, or any of those sorts of skills that have real practical value, and being out there in the real world as opposed to the textbook is probably a little bit more important from my perspective. But as I say, whatever makes you happy. If it makes you happy to go get the economics degree and you really want to learn that stuff, hey, get in there. But if it's all about money and living the lifestyle that you dream of, then there's probably different ways to attack it.
Absolutely. I think it's like I did the mistake myself that I did a uni degree just for the sake of procrastination. Like I just didn't know what to do, and that can't be the excuse for just doing, just going or spending 3 years of your life just basically only learning and not doing. And I think doing is such an important part because we spend so much time thinking about things, and at least as important part is also just do it, as Mike says, is very good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for execution, right? There's everyone has a good business idea, but it is worthless unless you execute on it. Okay, the execution is so critical, so critical.
Absolutely. I just wanted to get your view on it, Aaron. Like you just started out right with this freedom business, and I would be interested in hearing what was your biggest challenge that you had so far.
Well, I thought the beginning would be really difficult to find something which as we all think when we're not in that area, is like, okay, what's the perfect business idea, and how can I find the perfect business idea, and whatever. And yeah, that really surprised me how easy it was to find just something that brings me that that income I want to, and just take something which works already, not try to find something fancy and try to find a fancy idea, but just take something which is there already and try to make it better, and then work on that. And yeah, that was my the first big problem. And I also have friends who want to start a business, and yeah, they struggled on that point, like at the beginning, like, what should I start? I mean, I need a good idea, and there are so many businesses who are already successful in this area and that area. So what should I do? I can't do the same thing. And yeah,
it's a great question. I'd like to, if people are out there thinking, what business idea should I choose, or what should I do? The first thing I'd say to them is, as you said, Aaron, don't get hyped up on having the new, latest, greatest business idea that's going to sell to Google for $1 billion. It's not. It's probably not going to happen. And let's be honest, why do you want that $1 billion? It's probably so you can travel the world and enjoy yourself, right? So there's a much easier way to do that, and that's to look at businesses out there that are already successful and already have great markets in them already. So our whole goal is to come into that market and to be much better than the competitors, better at selling, better at product quality, improving whatever it is that's out there already. So, for example, I was talking about my friend who does iPhone cases, and these ones here have this particular X on the back that he's designed, and this X allows this iPhone case to lock into all these cool things. So he's got a bike, like a push bike thing that this locks into, and it's a little magnet that's built inside the case, so it kind of like locks into it really nicely. And he's got some really well-designed accessories that plug in very well. So iPhone case, you're thinking, oh, everyone's doing it, but he's just improved it that one little %, and his sales and marketing skills and everything are top notch. So he's selling thousands of these units and constantly inventing new accessories, and it's really exciting. And he's built it around lifestyle as well. It's like a lifestyle design business as well. So there's those types of business, and that's a physical product type business. But then you've got the virtual type businesses, whatever it is they are. I gave the video business example. There's also, I started an iPhone application development business as well. That was one of my early freedom businesses as well. And what that basically had, I had no knowledge in developing iPhone apps. I'd just use them, right, on my phone. But I did know how to connect with iPhone app developers and designers through those Elance and Odesk websites that you can outsource to. So I connected with these guys, and I built a couple of apps myself, just learnt the process, and then started to and then build a business around it. So I had my team in place, I had the the website in place and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, the business idea, the big thing is with the business idea, literally just look at something that's out there and look at how you can improve it. And one of the biggest things, and I guess an exercise that you can do that is look at any transaction in the world, or look at anything anyone does in the world. For example, booking into a hotel. Okay, this is a key example. So when you book a hotel, you've got to go onto the website. You pull out your credit card. You have to punch in the numbers. You have to you get your confirmation email. You get on the flight. You fly to wherever it is you're going. You walk up to the hotel, go in the door, and then there's a long line. So you're waiting in line. Then you've got to check in, you've got to sign the form, all that stuff. In that one life process, there's probably about 60 steps, okay? 60 steps in that one little life process. You can pick one of those steps and improve it, okay? So what did PayPal do? PayPal improved the whole punching in your credit card thing by just put your email and a password in, and boom, it's paid for, right? So bang, what a great business idea PayPal was. All right, let's look at the hotel now. So we're at the hotel front door, and now we've got this big-ass line. How can we improve that? Instead of having the big-ass line, what if the hotel gave you a key code that was sent to you on your phone via text message, and you just walked up, punched in your key code, and you're in the hotel? Beautiful. And you just punch it in to get up into the lift. So these improvements, these little improvements in someone's daily life transaction can be built into a business. So there is literally thousands of business ideas out there if you look at it from that perspective, and it's just up to you to pick the right one that fits your kind of where you're at in terms of time and resources, and executing on it, as we say. That's the most important.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I would like just to really touch upon this before we go into more questions, of course, from the people. I just saw that there are like a lot of people, like a lot of your followers from the SSM group, and I just wanted to say, if you guys want to join, if you guys want to connect with Tim live, come to the Lifestyle Design Convention. It's going to be a short marketing pitch, no worries. And like join us, have an amazing 2 days. I just popped in the offer on the right side of your screen, very professional as I am, and you can just click on it if you want to see, have a look at the event. It's in Zurich, so it's very central in Europe. If you guys want to fly in, that will be amazing. And yeah, I would actually love to have you guys on board, because I think it's such an interesting crowd, like people who try to, or who are building their own freedom business. It would be really great to connect with you guys. So click on it, have a look at it. And yeah, it would be amazing to have as much people, as much motivated people who want to grow at this conference as possible.
Awesome. Yeah, come before our event in Bulgaria. I mean, yeah, come to the Zurich one, and then we're off to Bulgaria in February. So yeah, it'd be awesome to connect beforehand.
Yeah, that fits very well. Cool. Emmanuel, you maybe have some more questions for us?
Yeah. There's one particularly interesting one, I think. There's one person who basically says that the person is motivated to, or wants to achieve more, but it's not motivated enough to sort of take action. So I think the question is more like, how can I motivate me to actually go after my dreams and do what I want to do, follow my desires, I think.
Yeah, that's great. I think you know, one of the guys that I used to follow way back in the day is a guy called Tony Robbins, who's probably all familiar with. Now, Tony, he basically says that, you know, motion is emotion. That's like probably the only thing I remember from Tony Robbins is motion is emotion, i.e. get moving, because that'll get everything flowing and everything going, right? So like I was saying earlier, go and experience what you would define as your perfect day. I mean, if you're not motivated, it probably means you're just sitting in mum's basement, you know, watching cat videos on YouTube all day, and you don't have much movement in your life. Get out there and find, like, if you're not excited about something, go out and find something to get excited about. Go and try like kiteboarding. Go and travel somewhere really weird and new that's just, you know, gets you flowing, gets you moving. Go to a different town, go to a different city. I don't know what sort of constraints this person has financially or whatever. Just definitely get moving, and find, if you're not inspired by something, go out there and get inspired. If you're a guy, it's very easy to get inspired by, I guess, beautiful women. Go to a place that has beautiful girls running around everywhere, and that'll get you moving. You'll be like, okay, all right, how do I get one of these beautiful girls and take her to Paris for crepes for breakfast? All right, that's pretty motivating, and you know, I don't know, it's find what excites you and your soul, right? So when you go to bed at night, what's the one thing that you really dream of having or doing or being or whatever it is? You know, go and experience that, and use that experience to fuel the fire and stoke it even more, so you can push through. Because again, you know, this all sounds like some really easy, fun adventure, which is just like a walk in the park. But again, there's resistance, and there's also some shit that has to get done, right? It's literally, you know, there's some shit that has to get done. We have to sit there and we have to put the work in. We have to put the effort in to make sure it happens. But I'm telling you right now, it is damn worth it. If you push through resistance, get motivated, hey, like, you know, to be able to wake up each day and choose what you want to do with that time, and use it wisely, right? Not use it to sit in mum's basement and watch more cat videos. Get out there and do more things, make more of a difference, and connect with more people. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And I think you also don't have to like change your whole life overnight. I think a lot
No.
of people think that like, oh, okay, now I want to do this freedom business, so I have to quit my job and like put all my energy into it. That doesn't have to be the case. You can actually also like slide into it. And that's a lot of excuses that I hear from people who don't want to change their lives. And also I could find that resistance in me is like, okay, now I want to really like have that lifestyle design convention. Do I have now like to change everything in my life? Of course not. You can do it step by step by step.
Sure.
I think that's a very important input as well. Emmanuel hit us with another question. Yeah, Timothy, please go on.
Sorry, before we go, there's one guy I want to mention who's on our course. His name's Rodrigo. He's actually on the chat as well. And Rodrigo, he lives in a country called El Salvador. Now, El Salvador is not what you would call an economically well-off country, all right? So, Rodrigo's motivation, he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here and I'm hanging out with guys who I feel like I'll vibe with. And, Rodrigo made some great sales this week and he's going to join us on the trip to Bulgaria, and he's literally from El Salvador. And most of his clients are not from El Salvador because, as I say, it's not an economically well-off country. He's got clients all over the world, and he's using that to fund his trip to Bulgaria to get out. So, let's look at what would motivate you. For Rodrigo, it's like, look, this environment, this doesn't suit me. I want something better. And if Rodrigo can do it, and learn these skills and knowledge and apply these mindsets, anyone can do it. So shout outs to Rodrigo. He's such a great support and a great community member and just a great all-round person. So I'm really looking forward to meeting him in real life when we get to Bulgaria.
I wanted to ask you actually at the beginning of the webinar why you are not only like doing those freedom businesses for yourself, but also like share the idea with others, and you basically just answered the question right now. But you can go into it if you want.
If you want. Yeah, I can expand on that for sure.
Yeah.
So I came to a crossroads about 3 years ago where I was running the training program and running my freedom businesses at the same time. And it came down to that whole focus thing, right? It's like, okay, which one do I enjoy the most, and which one do I want to pour my time and energy in over the next 5-10 years? And I was just like, you know what? This group, this community, and this training that we're doing is what I want to pour all my energy in. But having said that, the reason why we've built the studios here in Melbourne, Freedom Studios, is each year we want to launch a brand new business and bring that knowledge from launching that business back to the community as well. So it's not kind of like, I'm coming and I'm just doing this training program and whatever. We also bring in experts all the time. I had a Facebook expert recently come into the studio to coach our community on how to do Facebook really well. So, we have the elite experts as well. I built a few businesses. I built the lifestyle, so I understand the structure, but I also understand that you need to keep on top of it each and every year. So each year, I as a passion, because it's so much fun building and launching businesses, I want to build and launch businesses, each and every year as well. Some will probably fail, so that'll be great lessons as well. You know what I mean?
Cool, awesome. Yeah, I think if you want to work for your own dreams and not for somebody else's dreams, you should definitely like check out Timothy's stuff. Can you tell me, Timothy, what would be the best way to get in touch with, first of all, your information that you have out there, and also with yourself?
Yeah, so it's over at freedombusinessblog.com, www.freedombusinessblog.com. So pretty easy. We have a new blog launching actually on Monday, which is awesome. So yeah, there'll be lots of new content. We're building out a new content schedule so that stuff will be coming out all the time. There'll be plenty of opportunity to ask questions and dive into it all. So yeah, I'm really excited about just pouring out content flat out all the time on the blog. And then we've got freedomstudios.com.au. So that's our studio that we're building. That page is coming in about 2-3 weeks. And that's all about our vision, our ethos. That's not just the training program that we're doing. That's also the other businesses and cool stuff that we're doing in our community and our business community as well, and events and things like that. So freedomstudios.com.au, that'll be coming out soon, because obviously we've got the new studio and everything there now. And yeah, freedombusinessblog.com is the main one for people wanting to learn.
Cool. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up here, if that's okay for you guys. I know there's still a lot of questions that we could answer. I'm certainly gonna hang out for some more time in the chat to try to answer some questions. Maybe Tim, you have some time as well. But we're gonna wrap this up. I just wanted to let you know, guys, if you want to see Tim live in Zurich, the ticket prices for the Lifestyle Design Convention, which is on January 10th and 11th, will increase in 5 days on Sunday night. So if you want to get your ticket, you should do it soon. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for hosting this webinar together with me. It was an amazing blast. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Aaron, and thank you, Emmanuel, for giving us all those amazing questions. And yeah, join us if you want to go to the URL. It's actually lifestyle2015.com. What I will do in the end is I actually will send you all in your browser to that web page, so you will have you can have a look at it. And yeah, we're gonna do many more of those webinars by actually by signing up for this webinar. You will be on the newsletter. We're gonna send you some messages about another 2 or 3 webinars that we're gonna do. And yeah, guys, it was an absolute pleasure to pick your brain. Tim, and you, Aaron, and thank you very much for doing this together with me.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, Aaron. Cheers. Good to see you, man. And Emmanuel.
Bye-bye.